Hi, this is about cancer. I have made many videos about cancer in Arabic and now I will do series in English. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell and so that you get notification about any new video. The cancer cell, the definition is dysregulated cell growth. The cell grow without control, out of control, like a car without brake, and you are pressing on the gas. It causes all damage. The control of the cell growth is the mitochondria. The mitochondria are small organelles, or small organs found in every cell. The number is 100 in some cells and thousands in other cells. And the mitochondria is the controller of cell function. And each cell function is different from the other. For example, the nerve cells in the brain function. It produces a protein different from the cell in the heart. And the heart cell produce different protein and different function from the cells in the kidney. So the mitochondria control the protein production by which the cell function, and the hormones, the enzymes, the neurotransmitters, everything. So the causes or the risk factor which affect the mitochondria could be toxins, chemicals, radiation, chronic infection or inflammation, viral infection. Some viruses cause cancer, which is called oncogenic viruses. For example, a human papilloma virus, which produce cancer of the neck of the womb in women, or we call it in medicine cervix of the uterus. So there are many causes in healthy lifestyle, and this over time the mitochondria will be dysfunctional. The function of the mitochondria is oxidative phosphorylation, meaning the oxygen will combine with the electrons to produce chemical energy called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And the electron come from the food which we eat, the nutrient. So the function of the mitochondria is to produce energy as well as carbon dioxide, CO2, and water. CO2 comes out through exhalation, and water, it will be excreted through the breathing as well as by the urine, combined with other chemicals. And so the mitochondria, when it gets dysfunctional, it cannot use oxygen to produce energy. And the cell want to survive and to live. So the mitochondria start to ferment glucose to produce ATP and energy. And this fermentation in the cancer cell, it happens in both in the mitochondria and in the cytoplasm, in the environment of the cell. And the cancer cell, they have dysfunctional mitochondria. They are not strong, they are not good. They cannot use oxygen to produce energy. So we repeat, they ferment glucose to produce energy as well as glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid which is found in protein. It is very common protein in our human body, and it is found in all animal products as well as plant products. And it is called non-essential, but in fact it is very essential. When they say non-essential, meaning non-essential to eat, because the body will produce it. It is so important that the body is producing it. So the glutamine is important for our gut health, for our immune system, and for our muscle cell health. So it is very important for our health and our function. How do we know that the cancer cells use fermentation? It is discovered 100 years ago by a German scientist called Warburg. And it is a genius from aristocratic family. He was from a family who are scientists, physicists, chemists, and the Germans are very well in chemistry and chemistry. Very well, they are very advanced. So he went to World War I, but Einstein wrote a letter to the government, and he said He's a genius and we don't want to lose him in the war. So they brought him back and he opened a lab in Berlin. And he was experimenting on animals. There is a rat with a tumor. He gave her cyanide to kill her. And how cyanide works is by stopping oxygen used by the mitochondria. So immediately when he gave cyanide, the rat died. But the tumor cells did not die. They stay alive. And then he did research and find that the tumor cells, they don't need oxygen to produce energy. Okay, this is 100 years ago. But now we discover that additional substance, which is amino acid called the glutamine, is also fermented by the cancer cells. Cancer cells are with dysfunctional mitochondria and they have a memory. And they divide. They cause inflammation in the area where they are found in the tissue, as well as produce a new blood vessel, which in medicine called angiogenesis. Angio means a new blood vessel. Genesis, production of a new blood vessel, and they will spread by blood. But also the cancer corrupt cells, which are called macrophages. Macrophages, macro, big. Phages, eating. They are big eater. They are found stable in the tissue and they are part of the immune system, but they get corrupted, meaning the mitochondria will get corrupted and they start to divide and they are called cancer stem cells. And they produce cancer cells, and this is how the cancer spread and metastasize all over the body. This talk is from a book written by Professor Thomas Seyfried, Thomas, Seyfried, S-E-Y, Fried, F-R-I-E-D. Cancer is a metabolic disease in origin, management, and prevention. And he wrote it about 10 years ago. He found out that the cause of cancer is dysfunctional mitochondria. So the best thing to do is to improve the health of the mitochondria. And how we could do that? We do that by healthy lifestyle, everything. Sleep, breathing, no stress. Stress increases blood sugar. So in cases with cancer, we should teach them how to deal with stress to reduce the sugar in the blood. And he suggests that the management is to stress the cancer cells by low sugar, no intake of sugar. But we cannot avoid it because there is some sugar inside even the green leafy vegetables. But we have to continue a therapeutic level of a blood sugar of 55 to 65 milligram per 100 cc, which is about, if you divide it on 18, it is equal 3.5 millimole. And this, you divide it on ketone, and the index or the ratio should be 2. And it is called a glucose ketone index, GKI. And it is therapeutic for cancer cells. And this is called the stressor. If we reduce the sugar and keep this level of blood sugar, is called stress to the cancer cells. But the glutamine, we cannot get rid of it. It is everywhere and it is the most common amino acid in the body. So what they do, they give a drug in certain doses, because we cannot give big doses because it's toxic. And this will reduce the glutamine for a short period of time. So the cancer cells are already starving, vulnerable, and stressed by low glucose. And also we cut glutamine, so they die. And this is for a few hours, and the cancer cells die everywhere. Or if they don't die completely, we repeat the protocol. Then after this treatment, metabolic treatment for cancer, they put them in hyperbaric oxygen for 2.5 hours, and the mitochondria, they produce ROS, oxygen species, free radicals, and they are toxic. So they intoxicate the cancer cells and they work like radiotherapy to kill the cancer cells. Of course, this type of a treatment is not allowed in the United States, but there started to open centers in other countries like Turkey and Istanbul, and a new center in New Zealand which use this metabolic treatment of cancer. But the standard treatment of cancer, it is also useful. For example, surgery. If there is a tumor, we could excise it. Also, we can use the X-rays to see the follow-up of the cancer, and also blood test. So it is in combination with the classic treatment, which is used nowadays. And the difference in the treatment, it depends on the theory, what is the origin of cancer. In the classic thinking, they think it is the gene inside the nucleus in the cell start to be mutated. Mutated means it becomes sick and it produces cancer. But according to the metabolic theory of cancer, the gene change as secondary. It is not the cause. It is a downstream from the dysfunction of the mitochondria. Because when the mitochondria is dysfunctional and start to use fermentation by fermenting glucose and the glutamine, which is amino acid, it produces ROS, which is toxic to the DNA, RNA, protein, and fat, and also it produces acid, which is lactic acid and succinic acid. And this acidic environment will increase the damage to the cell. And it is causing also the cancer cell cause inflammation in the local tissue, and it will be vicious circle. I hope this point is clear. And comment if you want more explanation. And thank you, and God bless you. Bye.